Okay, so today we're making this video to talk about how to make a very nice PowerPoint presentation. So we'll start with a blank presentation, but realize you can use lots of templates. Let's go back here for a second. You can choose some fancy backgrounds. I like them to not be very busy at all, so these fading color schemas would be nice. But maybe not this one. That's a little intense. Let's see what they have for nature. That's kind of busy. Maybe this earth one or something would be okay. But realize that if you choose a background, you want it to make sense with your presentation. So if your presentation is about a disease, a picture of trees with multicolored tint probably makes no sense. But somewhere in here in the thousands of templates, I bet you there's one with like molecule models or something like that, which might make a little bit more sense. Or if your presentation is about a specific plant, you probably don't want the background to be a blossom, okay? So let's get back to blank presentation. And I'll show you something else in just a second. So you can pull in a picture from the background. And you can just pick a picture from your computer. So you could do fill here. Okay. Insert a picture from file. Let's see. Oops. Extra large icons. Here we go. Okay, this is a thistle. So I'm just going to pull this in for a second. If you do pull in a picture, you want it to be very light so it doesn't influence the ability to see any words that you do put in the background.
You don't have to.
No, you do not have to. Yeah. So if I was going to put in a picture, I'd probably pull the transparency to something like this so that you can really see the words. And then you can apply that to all the slides. Just do it once, and then every time you say new slide, that will be added, okay? But we'll reset this, and we'll keep it plain, okay? So here you want to have your title. Now you know me, I'm not a super stickler for details, but here you'd have your name, the semester is fine, maybe the class for which you prepared the slide, and then just like the opening page of your paper, your title page, maybe there's a picture on this page. Okay, that would be fine too. Now let's go to new slide, and I just did that by right clicking. So you're gonna get a pretty basic schema. It is good format to have a title for each slide. Okay, now in here, as we were mentioning, maybe 2 or 3 bullet points. Okay, with information. But then we want a picture, something interesting to look at. Okay, so we can insert, let's see, insert a picture. Okay, let's get this picture back. All right, now just pull it from the corner. get it down to a nice slide size. And then if your PowerPoint is really, really large, you might want to format these pictures so that they are smaller. Size and properties. Okay. Let's see. By changing the resolution here, okay, we'll be able to get the quality of picture that we want. But we want to compress. Let's see if we can find compress here. I can't find compress right now. But we'll let that stand. I'm going to delete that work I just did. We won't worry about the PowerPoint slide right at this moment. Now, I'll go on to my next slide. Okay, so you have a title, then you have 2 or 3 points written out, and then another picture, or a video, or a diagram. Okay. Now in this class I don't expect you to like produce diagrams, but let's take a look on the internet and see if we can find one that would be suitable. Say this PowerPoint is about invasive species, since thistle are invasive. Okay, so in Google Images or whatever search engine you like, you can look for diagrams. So invasive species data, see what we can find. Alright, so something like this is interesting. Obviously it has to be pertinent to what you're talking about. Let's see. Okay, so this is nice. This is from the USDA plants database. This is a national database of all the native and non-native plants in the United States, and these are their distribution diagrams. So we could certainly pull one of these. You can save the link to your computer. You can try copying the image. Copying doesn't always work. Let's see if it'll work for us right now. Okay, that worked pretty well, and I just pulled the thumbnail from the images, but if the resolution of the picture is bad, actually click on this first and you might find a larger pixel image, which might come across more cleanly in your PowerPoint, but that looks fine. Okay, so obviously now we could say distribution of thistle in North America. Okay. Then we go on to our next slide. Okay, maybe we want to talk about origins of thistle. Okay. 2 or 3 bullet points. And then a couple more images. Let's go back to our search here, and let's try now thistle origins. There's not a whole lot here. Let's try data. Still not a whole lot, but I think you get the point that you can find some valuable images that are more than just pictures, okay, that relate to your data. Now, it's also possible that the paper from which you are citing would have nice images. So let's try for that. We'll use Google Scholar. Oops, I forgot to go to general search. Okay, now if you're looking for peer-reviewed articles, hopefully you watched the other video I made about that. But anything that has a PDF link right here is available in full text. So let's take a look in this paper. Say we were citing this paper. Let's see if they have any images or graphs in here that might be of value to us. Okay, I'm seeing only this one table, but what I want to show you is that you can now take a screen capture of this and pick up this table even if it's not an image that you can right click on. Okay, so in a PDF you can use the select tool, or you can say FN print screen, which is usually above your number keypad, and then Control V to drop that into your slide. Now I'm going to double click on the picture, choose crop, and I'm going to pull this down until I just have the table that I want to bring into the presentation. Enter. Oh, I'm clicking enter. Doesn't want to accept that. There you go. Press crop, and that got it. So now I'm not sure what the resolution of this will look like in full screen, but you would obviously want to check that before you came to class to give your presentation. Can we read the words? Okay. But that's another handy way to get some different kinds of images into your PowerPoint. Now the last thing I want to mention is how many slides should there really be? You really don't need more than 10 slides. You can, if you're going to talk for 10 minutes, you can think a slide a minute. It doesn't have to be that you're clicking through those slides every 10 seconds. Ooh, I did forget one rule of thumb here. After our title slide, we want to have a slide that explains the agenda for the talk or the outline, etc. Okay, so here you'd want to say, I'm going to introduce the species, talk about its distribution, talk about its origins, etc., etc., and then your conclusion. Don't forget to add this slide. This is part of the rubric, okay? And then at the end, you would have the same slide. Copy, paste.
That's our last slide.
Yep, oopsies. I put that in as a... Hold on one sec, let's see here. Duplicate slide. I'm going to drag this down to the bottom, okay?
So 10 including those two.
Yeah. And then at the end you say, I talked about the species, the distribution, the origin, etc., you know, and then it's pretty typical to say questions. Okay. Now your very last slide can be references, okay? Oftentimes in a scientific talk, key references from your paper would be here, as well as like acknowledgments if someone helped you with the project, okay? And then your contact information if someone at the conference wanted to get in touch with you about the information you presented. Okay. So telling us what you're going to say, saying it, and then telling us